Good morning, distinguished guests, members of the media, respected stakeholders, families, and dear colleagues. I am Awa Touray, a member of GASAN, a day dedicated to raising awareness, promoting acceptance, and reaffirming the value and dignity of individuals of the autism spectrum. Today, as we gather on the eve of this important day, we do so with purpose. This moment allows us not to only reflect, but to set the tone for what tomorrow and beyond must represent. We gather under the theme, Autism and Humanity, Every Life Has a Value. This is more than a theme, it is a call to action. A call for us to examine how inclusive our society truly is, and whether we are genuinely creating space for everyone to thrive. Autism is not a limitation of worth, it is a different way of experiencing the world. Yet many individuals and families continue to face stigma, misunderstanding, and lack of support. This must change. Today we stand for the children who deserve understanding in our schools, for the parents who deserve support and recognition, and for every individual who deserves dignity, inclusion, and opportunity. This press conference marks the beginning of our activities as we commemorate World Autism Awareness Day. It is a platform to amplify voices, raise awareness, and also call for stronger commitment from all sectors of society. We also call on government, institutions, media, and the general public to join us in building a more inclusive Gambia, one where no one is left behind. As we look forward to tomorrow, let us remember, awareness is the only first step. What truly matters is acceptance, inclusion, and action. Because when we say every life has a value, it must be reflected in everything we do. Thank you, and once again, you're warmly welcome to this press conference.
Thank you very much, Awa.
Today, the Gambia joins the global community to observe the 19th Annual World Autism Awareness Day. We stand here to affirm simply but powerful truth. As the saying goes, every life has a value. Autism spectrum disorder is not a tragedy to be mourned. It is a part of human experience that requires our collective understanding, support, and most importantly, our actions. When we speak of GASAN, we speak of a movement built on the ground by the people and for the people. Over the past year, we have moved beyond conversation into tangible impact. We are proud to highlight that our work has reached various corners of our communities. National mobilization last October, we saw hundreds of Gambians join our stride for the spectrum, which is work for the autism. This wasn't just an event, it was a visible declaration of our children should no longer be hidden. Family and community joy. In December, our Family Fund Day provided a rare, safe, and inclusive space where autistic children and their families could simply be themselves, free from judgment. Institutional growth. We have strengthened our foundation by seeking affiliation with other institutions and engaging international specialists from the UK and the United States of America to ensure our advocacy gets or meets the global standards of excellency, and as well capacitate our members of the organization. Education and support. From hosting the first ever World Autism Awareness Day in this country to our ongoing seminars for caregivers, we are building knowledge that has a base that empowers families to be rich, to be their children's best advocates. In 2026 Awareness Month activities, this April, we are not slowing down. We are launching our most ambitious campaign, yet focused on policy and accountability. Our planned activities include regional outreach. Autism support shouldn't be limited to the combos. We are talking about a team to regional communities to ensure rural families have access to the same information and support. School inclusivity days. We will be working directly with educators to foster a classroom where neurodivergent students are not just present, but are actually learning and thriving. A call to the nation, to the government. We ask for the continued popularization of inclusive health and education policy. To the private sectors, We invite you to partner with us in building a future where every Gambian, regardless of how their brain works, and can contribute to our national development. To the families, you are the heart of GASAN. Your resilience is our inspiration. Today we just don't light up blue, we light up the way forward for more inclusive Gambia. I thank you all.
Oumie Ceesay, and I am, as Maimuna said, the honorary advisor, one of the honorary advisors for GASAN, but most importantly, I'm a parent to an autistic child. First time I heard about GASAN, I was elated because autism is definitely something that's not truly spoken about, especially in Gambia. It's a foreign concept, and working with GASAN is a privilege for me because it's creating what I call a village for parents that have children with autism and people that see it as a taboo or people that just feel alone. Personally speaking, my child has definitely taught me to be a better person. My child is making me to become a better version of myself, teaching me patience and me learning how to see the world from his perspective. I think it's very, very important that we build a supportive environment, an accommodating environment for autistic children and just children with special needs in general. So to be able to celebrate World Autism Day in Gambia, to make it something prevalent, to make it, to start acknowledging what autism is and just building a village for parents, families, to know that they're not alone, that they have a support system is truly an honor for me. So I'm here representing GASAN, but I'm also hoping I'm representing families and parents that have children with autism. So thank you guys for showing up. We appreciate you. We appreciate you willing to take our message out there. That's pretty much it. Thank you.
For that question, maybe, I don't know, I can deal with both if, in regards of as far as our awareness campaign is concerned, GASAN has been planning numerous of activities to be done. And for the second specifically, we are planning to have a TV programs tomorrow as a way of raising awareness and advocating for the rights of the individual living with autism in this country. The reason why we are not planning to hold a particular activity on each day is because basically the entire month is an awareness month. So, but tomorrow is the main day, and tomorrow it's important that we will be having a lot of media engagement in a sense of talking to people about what autism is all about, what it does, and how can we be able to create more inclusive society for these kids that are living with the spectrum in this country. And with your other question as well is in regards of challenges and support. There have been a lot of things that GASAN wanted to do in regards of as far as advocacy is concerned. That is number one in terms of supporting kids by not only advocating but as well, because based on our past experience during our community engagement or meeting with these family members, the questions will always be, how can I send my kid to school? You understand? Because looking at our education sector, you get to see that there is a lot of young people who want to thrive in the school. But because in autism you have an introvert and an extrovert, so you don't expect an introvert to sit on a class of a 20, an amount of 20 people learning at the same language that those people are learning as well. Because in them you have some challenges. That is why it's called a spectrum. It's very much broad, and with that, this is basically the number one challenge in terms of sending kids to school, because looking at we don't have any we don't have any therapy school in this country. The only therapy schools that we have are owned by private sectors, or let's say investors from outside, or these white people or so on. So basically it's really a challenge, because where you get to see a parent is being charged per hour of a particular therapy $1,000. You don't expect that, let's say, a less privileged family to be able to send their kid to that particular school. So this has really been a challenge in terms of, that is number one, in terms of funding in the educational aspect. And with this, that is why we are calling on the government, most especially in the education, because looking at the back, we have been supporting families in terms of creating that partnership between them and the hospital, of them going for sessions, speech therapy sessions, physiotherapy, because as I said, autism is a neurodevelopmental condition that affects the way the person behaves, communicates, and interacts with people. So with this, you have different in them, so their needs differs from each other. So with this is why we are calling on the government in terms of seeing how best they can be able to support us to have a therapy center, because that's our long-term goal, to have a therapy center where these kids can be able to go for a free session where they will be able to attend school in that particular, either is a therapist, like in Senegal, they have a therapy, different therapy section, in a sense whereby it's a school, but it has they have a behavioral therapy in there. They do education. They go for school there as well, and so on. So this has been a challenge in this country because there is no particular school owned by the government in regards to other. The only school that is being is for the disabled is the Methodist. So which is really a challenge for a lot of autistic parents to send a lot of autistic kids to be sent to that particular school, because their mothers will be like, if I send my child here, at the end of the day, I'm just spending my money. But at the end of the day, the person is not learning anything. I'm not seeing any progress. As I said, their needs differ. So this is very much important. So this is why we are calling on the government in terms of seeing how best they can be able to support our advocacy and our awareness that we are raising in this country.